a documentary about the life of Shacarri Richardson titled Sub 11 Seconds is premiering at the Sundance Film Festival this year. The documentary is executive produced by the late Virgil Abloh and focuses on her journey to mastering the 100-meter dash. It is described as a rumination on time, loss, and hope. We've got a clip. Let's take a look.
Is my blessing and my curse. On the track, I've been blessed to run fast. Off the track, time has cheated me. You don't know when something or someone will be taken from you.
Looks like a good one. Looks like a good one. What do we think about this one, Dominique?
I find her fascinating, interesting. I'm still rooting for her, and Virgil Abloh. It's probably a great film. I wonder if all the attention on her and all the controversy is hampering her as an athlete.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's very difficult, especially when you're in your 20s. It's very difficult to navigate through all of that and focus. It's hard to keep your eyes ahead. And it's interesting because she's a track star. She's a runner. She's a track star. And so you would seem that she would be able to focus on what's in front of her and not look back and look around. But I just think when you're young, it's hard.
It's like she blew up before she had the accomplishments.
Yeah, it's hard.
To get the medals first and then have the accolades.
Yeah, it's hard to cancel the noise. It's hard to cancel the noise. And you don't know that when you're up, and when you're down. Like you don't have the fortuity or the fortitude to know that, the compliments are bad and the letdown, the people dogging you out, the criticism is bad. They both hinder you to no end, and you have to find a good balance between the two of those. Alicia?
Yeah, and I mean, she's such a young lady, and as we all know, the frontal lobe isn't even fully developed till you're 25, so she's still growing, learning, maturing. She has so much more life to live. Of course, track, you can't do that forever, but I will watch this documentary. I love documentaries anyway, but what people need to do when they're in something that has very high stakes, look on the list, see what's on that list. Weed was on the list, alcohol was not. So get you some wine. We got to make some other choices.
You trying to turn into an alcoholic now? What are you doing here?
It's not on the list. It's not on the list. Get drunk and get an Uber.
Dr. Oleka, do we like this documentary on Shacarri Richardson? Is it too soon for her to have a documentary?
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, Tammy Mack. I think it is too soon. I think to the point that everyone has already made. She's young. And we saw that there have been some missteps. And let's say she doesn't return to form. Then you kind of wonder what the purpose of doing a documentary on her was all about. Now, I mean, look, obviously she's dealt with a lot. She's had fame at a young age and had a lot of tragedy happen. There are a number of people to whom that has happened. And I think the documentary could even be more powerful if you wait and see what she becomes and how she deals with it over time. Grief is a challenging thing, especially if you lost a parent. I lost a parent, my dad, some years ago. It's something that you go through over time, especially when you're young. So to take advantage of this now, I think might be a challenge. Also, secondarily, because she's young, I don't know what deal was constructed. I hope, though, that if there's a movie about her, a documentary, that she is going to receive significant compensation. Because, again, this was something made about her when she's young, striking when the iron's hot. I hope she certainly takes advantage of that financially.
Yeah, I oftentimes, when people come to me and tell me they're doing documentaries, they're like, yeah, I'll be done with it in about a year or so. And I'm like, I think people forget what even the term documentary means. It means that you're documenting something. And in order to document it, it has to happen, right? We've only documented one race that she has, and then another race, one that she won and one that she lost. And I guess it's nice to see what she had to go through in that space and in that time and in that experience. But I think we can all agree that will not be the end of Shacarri Richardson's experiences when it comes to the track or when it comes to life. Ed?
Agree. I think the timing of this is off. I mean, she is an Olympic class sprinter, and to your point about striking when the iron is hot, this should be released, in front of the next Olympics. And that assumes that she returns to form and is ready to sort of have a triumphant, return at the next Olympics, where hopefully she medals and it returns to form. Without that, it loses a lot of context for me. I agree with OJ in that, grief is a very difficult thing to do. I hope the documentary really isn't about excusing the use of weed, knowing that it was on the list, to Alicia's point. So I don't know. I'll watch it, but I thought it should be released in a couple more years, right in front of the Olympics.